Mr. President, everybody's talking about the PPP, and when your team designed the PPP and said, let's bring it through the SBA, I think it was an unbelievable idea, and you did exactly what you needed to do. But I'm one of those people when it started being pitted against, because I'm a sole proprietor, but I do $4 billion in revenue, and I would have been that billionaire that took the money from the little business. So I was not able to take the PPP money, and I caught so much criticism because I was the first person who did lay off 40,000 employees, because the world doesn't understand that when you shut everything down from your casinos, which you and I did a few deals together, from the Rainforest to the Trump Marina, your tail of your payroll was $150 million the next 2 weeks. And we all pay yesterday's bills with today's income. And I wanted to put 40,000 people back to work May the 1st, but couldn't take the criticism, and even from the administration there was some, that bigger companies shouldn't be taking this money. But I don't have the ability to put those 40,000 people back to work. So I just wish that don't add any money, but just divide it up. And
so you're saying that because your restaurants aren't split up among thousands of people that own restaurants, and you have it yourself in the company? Yeah,
that it would have been one person taking this money, so but your team specifically wrote the bill for any restaurant under 500. This was for the restaurant business, which has only got 9% of the money. But if you would just split it up, and I'm not saying add any more money, but add a category for the larger private restaurateur that could go out and take this money and put it in a different bucket, so it wouldn't be me taking this money away from the little beauty salon.
So what happened to you then, Tilman? So where are you on that whole thing? How did you do with the PPP? Well, how did it work out for your company?
I took the money and sent it back. And did not spend a dollar of it because
they found out you're very rich, and they said, what the hell?
You know what? But I also was the first person that opened the leveraged finance market and went and borrowed $300 million at 12%, where just 3 months earlier borrowed at 3%, because I needed the liquidity to keep the company afloat.
So what did you do? You went out very early, right, for the money? And you found the market it was opened even at that early day.
Yes, I borrowed $300 million to add to liquidity, but it wasn't enough to hire back all my employees, which I would have loved to have done with the PPP. But just create a category for us, Mr. Secretary.
Steve, what do you think about that? I mean, he's got a unique situation. You know, he has a lot of restaurants. It's a big company, but
but I can't pay him.
You have other people where the company is the same size, but you have 2,000 owners. What do you think of that?
Well, it's a complicated issue, Mr. President.
As
I've said before, we didn't anticipate the Los Angeles Lakers, who I'm a big fan of, would be taking a PPP loan. And as a result of that, there was a lot of backlash around
Who paid
that,
it back?
And we went through the certifications.
I'm saying that for the media. They paid it.
Again, we realize the issue, how it impacts your workers, and we're sympathetic to that. This was a program for companies that were not necessarily quite as big. But
this is different than the Lakers. The Lakers are a basketball team. This is a man that owns how many restaurants do you own?
600 restaurants, but they're all full service restaurants. You know, I have 60,000 employees, and you don't have the ability to pay them.
I'm happy to follow up with you. We don't need to have this in front of
No, but it is interesting for the press to hear, because they understand the complexity of it. So if he had 600 owners and he franchised them out or something, but he had 600 owners, they qualify. If he has, if he owns it, it's a different situation, but I can understand what he's saying. So let's take a look at it.